Like at any moment, it can be taken away.
Oh my God, I don't want to have to see any flaws.
It's not fair. It's totally not fair.
Welcome back to more Girls Next Door, where I recap, review, and rehash your favorite Y2K reality series, The Girls Next Door. I'm your host, mega fan, and Y2K survivor Megan. Today we're discussing Season 1, Episode 7, entitled Just Shoot Me. Come on to my house. September 25th, 2005 was the launch date for this Girls Next Door episode, and our historical reference from deep inside the Y2K vault is the Apple iPod Nano. Oh yeah, back then if you wanted to listen to music on the go, you had to have a separate MP3 dedicated device. So, along with your Motorola flip phone, giant Bugs Life sunglasses, digital camera, and full-size Bath & Body Works vanilla sugar body spray, you more than likely had an iPod Nano stuffed in your oversized hobo bag. You feeling nostalgic yet? Then you think you can kick off your candies, hang up your trucker hat, and silence your sidekicks? Let's get into Just Shoot Me.
Excited because today we're shooting our pictorial. I've always wanted to do Playboy. It's kind of like making all of my dreams come true.
Today, it's kind of like my day. Like, I want to look like me, express who I really am, but with makeup on and nude, you know?
The Girls Next Door episode, Just Shoot Me, focuses on a huge event in Holly, Bridget, and Kendra's lives, their very first Playboy pictorial photo shoot. As not actually promised by Hef, the girls might finally be able to call themselves Playboy models. Not centerfolds, not playmates, and they could possibly be on the cover of the magazine. Though Hef couldn't promise that either. I swear, when I think about how the girls were offered this opportunity, Hef's delivery was so murky, it's amazing this day ever came.
I can't promise it. I can't promise it. I can't promise it that I'm going to put you in the magazine.
Yeah! Holly gives us a brief rundown of the game plan for the photo shoot. Most of the shots will be of the three girls together, but they will also pose individually in their respective bedrooms. Bridget is a bundle of nerves, and she flutters around her bedroom in a magenta satin robe, while her sister Anastasia has breakfast in bed.
I'm nervous because I want to knock this out of the ballpark. I just want them to be like, what were we thinking and why didn't we put them in the magazine a long time ago? I'm worried about doing it to the best that I can. This is my big chance. I am spilling coffee left and right.
At this point, the show has pretty well drilled it home how important this opportunity to pose nude in Playboy is to Bridget. This is her big chance. She wants to knock it out of the park. She is extremely nervous. We check in on Kendra, loitering around the mansion kitchen, raiding the cabinets, and per usual, chatting up butler Bryant. With a box of Cheez-Its in hand, she explains how happy she is that she didn't have to wake up early since the photo shoot will be taking place on mansion grounds. We're first invited to witness Holly's solo photo shoot, and she explains that each of the girls' separate solo shoots will represent their individual personalities. Hollywood glamour is the theme here in Holly and Hef's bedroom, which has been warmly lit and camera angles adjusted so the backdrop features the iconic panty chandelier and mahogany spiral staircase.
Oh my God, I don't want to have to see any flaws, or, this is just me shooting by myself. If anything goes wrong, I'm the only one to blame. But I got really nervous, so I actually ordered a drink, and I had a Diet Coke with vodka, and was starting to feel a little bit better.
Holly, with soft, pinup-style waves in her blonde hair, wears a blush pink, fuzzy-trimmed duster and quietly awaits her cue. At the last minute, her nerves start to zing, so she orders a Diet Coke and vodka. Before we know it, it's robe off and legs wrapped around the staircase banister in a kind of wee pose. As she shifts positions and sways seductively, our favorite hype girl Kendra sneaks in and supportively catcalls at Holly in the nude. Playboy photographer Arnie Freytag is behind the camera. Best known for his decades-long association with Playboy, Arnie helped define the magazine's most recognizable visual era. He notably became one of the publication's most prolific and trusted photographers, his work synonymous with the polished, glamorous Playmate look that dominated Playboy imagery from the late 1970s through the early 2000s. Anna Nicole Smith, wrapped with white fur. Pamela Anderson under a sturdy Stetson cowboy hat. Carmen Electra, suspended in clear Christmas ornament. If you've ever seen a Playboy magazine, chances are Arnie Freytag captured the magic of it. Back to the episode, Holly wraps up her personal photo shoot, praising the professionals involved for making her feel so comfortable that she doesn't even want to put clothes back on. Kendra's bedroom at any given time looks like a missile testing site, and upon transitioning to her individual shoot, we see she didn't bother to perform even the slightest of spring cleaning to better accommodate all the people and gear involved. The team makes it work, climbing over piles of clothes and trash, carving out a corner where they drape NFL uniforms and display sports memorabilia for a Kendra-appropriate backdrop.
At first, it was like kind of awkward, being naked in front of everybody. But then after I got naked, I started getting loose. I need to get naked, guys. I need to hurry up and get naked, you guys. I need to get naked real quick. My favorite part about this whole shoot is taking pictures of who I am. Sexy, classy, nude pictures,
Kendra straddles a white Playboy bunny chair, wearing about a quarter of a Chargers jersey and athletic socks up to her knees. It's cute, I'm not gonna lie. Kendra's commentary is voiced over the scene, and she speaks a wish into the universe that a bunch of NFL players will hang her nude photos in their lockers. Now it's time for Bridget's solo shoot in her bedroom, and the theme is pink, I guess, or bunny? Hair and pigtails accessorized with a bunny ear headband, she crawls around her bed, which is covered in pink satin.
I'm most nervous about my own body and just how it's gonna look.
Great.
I just feel unprepared. Ill-prepared, I guess. I just want it to be perfect, and I want to be happy with the pictures. You can kind of make your own personality.
Bridget's voiceover doesn't tell us anything new. She's nervous. This is her only chance. The pressure is on. After her shoot, the scene hovers around Bridget while she and her sister call and debrief their mom on the day. Again, reiterating how much this has meant to Bridget and for a very, very long time. Next, we see Holly and Hef in bed reviewing tiny print images from the photo shoots with a loupe, which is what you call the looking glass used to magnify small prints. Hef's comments focus on the girls' inexperience, which he notes comes across in their expressions. Holly, in his words, looks startled while Kendra is trying too hard to be sexy, which he flatly calls stupid. It's a little harsh, but it's also one of those rare, oddly intimate moments the show lets us see. Even this early in Season 1, it's clear that Hef is sharing his passion with Holly and actively including her in his process, giving us a glimpse into the dynamic that would define their relationship moving forward. The episode shifts to the day of the girls' collaborative pictorial photo shoot, and Bridget is doing that Bridget thing where she beats us over the head with her insecurity and self-doubt. While a team of hair and makeup professionals go to work on the three girls, Bridget makes sure everyone knows she has an important final exam to take at school that evening. She's working towards a second master's degree in broadcast journalism. It seems that no one else is worried about the shoot running into overtime, but Bridget will spend the entire day with knots in her stomach and in fear that she may have to leave before the task is complete. The shoot begins with a scene of the three girls hula hooping, wearing different but complementing colorful bikinis and beachwear. We move on to shooting them in the pool, laying hip to hip on their bellies atop a plastic hot pink raft. Backsides to the lens, they each peek over their shoulders and wink or smile shyly at the camera.
I think about each other's bodies all the time, or not all the time, but like when we're shooting or whatever. But I'm happy with my own. I mean, I know where my flaws are, and I see Kendra's got a totally flat stomach, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that.
Bridget's interview voiceover continues to remind us that she is ultra critical of her body, comparing it to the other two girls next door. Cut to the final shot of the day in the infamous grotto, and for a moment, all seems to be going according to plan. Until Hef pops his head in and casually suggests that the photographer, Arnie, capture the girls in a bathhouse shower scene. From the look on Bridget's face, you'd think Hef had just announced publicly that he planned to personally Photoshop her out of every photo taken so far. Bridget announces that she has to leave shortly, and just like that, it's decided the shower scene will be shot with Holly and Kendra only. On the surface, the impromptu location ad and decision to keep shooting with two girls instead of three reads as nothing more than a practical move to burn daylight. But Bridget has since suggested otherwise. In retrospect, she believes the timing was no accident, that production knowingly boxed her out of the final pictorial setup, fully aware that being excluded from a last-minute scene was the kind of thing that would absolutely devastate her, but make good dramatic TV. The shower scene is subtly portrayed as a favorite of both the remaining girls and the photography team. With Bridget academically occupied, her sister Anastasia is caught observing Holly and Kendra beneath a rainfall faucet pose and play off one another effortlessly, the type of bond we typically witness between Holly and Bridget. With everyone pleasantly surprised at the chemistry captured in the last shots, the girls' first pictorial photo shoot is a wrap.
Hey, so how'd you think today went in the shower? Surely they're not going to put an extra picture of just Holly and Kendra in there.
The shower.
The episode picks back up with Bridget's return, and she immediately pumps Anastasia for details while voicing how unfair it would be if Holly and Kendra's shower photo made it in the magazine. Surely, she says, they wouldn't do that. Again, we see Holly and Hef reviewing the print sheets from the day, and Hef notes how much he likes the shots from the shower scene. Oh, the build-up. Well done, girls next door. Back to Bridget, and it's still not fair. She feels like she's being gypped out of her life dream. I'm sorry, guys, but seeing as this interview take is of Bridget in her signature pigtails, I can't help but imagine her stomping around the mansion like an ornery 10-year-old screaming, "It's not fair!" through snot-nosed fits.
It's not fair. It's totally not fair. I tried to reschedule my final, so I don't really understand how come they're doing some with two people. I want this just as much, if not more, than anyone else in here, and I feel like I'm being gypped.
And side note, fairness will be a recurring complaint of Bridget's, even to this day. We can gather that Hef got wind of Bridget's concerns. Shocker. as we see him visit her in her bedroom where she cries and confesses how she feels about being picked last for dodgeball. Hef comforts her and assures her that he will find a solution. He knows how much the opportunity means to her. We all do. And pause, because in her podcast, Girls Next Level, Bridget is still absolutely up in arms over this episode, and not just because photos were taken without her. What really burns her toast is that the final scene of her discussing it with Hef made it into the show for viewers to witness. Here's the behind-the-scenes tea Bridget has spilled. She insists she went to Hef to address the issue, not the other way around. And importantly, she claims she asked production not to film the conversation. According to her, the cameras were respectfully put down, but she still had a hot mic on. So while there's no footage of the actual confrontation, the audio was captured anyway.
I know, but that's why I'm saying that I know everyone would feel the same way.
Absolutely. All right, well, let me see what we can do.
I know, I just feel like saying something makes me feel ungrateful, and I'm not.
Listen, I know how important all this is to you. I will figure out some kind of solution, honey.
In post-production, editors stitched that audio over a previously filmed, totally innocuous scene of Bridget and Hef casually chatting in her bedroom. To Bridget, this wasn't just shady, it was a betrayal. Now, how do I feel about this? Well, holding on to anger and resentment over what amounts to a Franken scene from a mid-2000s reality show for nearly 2 decades feels a little dramatic, especially when the core issue hinges on the fact that she didn't de-mic herself. That's not a moral failing on production's part. That's a rookie mistake in Hollywood. Babe, this is the same industry that gave us villain edits, reaction shots pulled from entirely different days, and people, quote-unquote, storming off to the bathroom because editors needed a cliffhanger. Bridget often frames herself as uniquely wronged, but this kind of editing wasn't some targeted hit. It was standard operating procedure for reality TV in that era. Producers weren't documentarians, they were storytellers, with a deadline and a mandate to manufacture tension. So, was it manipulative? Sure. Was it personal? Probably not. We pick the episode back up with all 3 girls posing in a reshoot of the shower scene.
I had mixed feelings about the reshoot because I had seen the pictures that Kendra and I had shot, and it was my favorite picture of myself in the pictorial.
I did not know we had to shoot again. I'm like, oh, I do not feel like it. My body is just like, wow.
Holly and Kendra both convey their mixed feelings about the do-over. Holly really liked the images of herself particularly, which were produced in the bathhouse that day with Kendra. And Kendra, well, she'd just rather be in bed. While Bridget acknowledges feeling a little uncomfortable about making everyone repeat the photo shoot, fair is fair. The episode concludes with Hef presenting the girls with a mock-up of their first Playboy pictorial, a multi-page dedication to the women of the mansion and Hef's heart. They all rejoice in excitement with squeals and applause as they absorb the collage of images in front of them.
I'm still in shock. I feel like it hasn't fully hit me yet, but I just feel like at any moment it can be taken away. I'm gonna just wait till I see that magazine come out and then I'll believe it.
This is for sure.
Thank you, honey. We're excited.
Oh my God.
What's interesting is that if you look closely, the mock-up in this scene actually includes a full-page photo from Holly and Kendra's shower shoot. That detail alone suggests this moment was filmed before Bridget ever aired her pictorial grievances to Hef, before the shower reshoot. And if that's the case, This scene suddenly looks like the catalyst for the entire conflict. What would be the point of confronting Hef if Bridget didn't already have reason to believe that Holly and Kendra's images were going to be published without her? The mock-up answers that question. Seeing the layout, seeing 2 of the 3 girls fully represented, would have been the reality that began to sour Bridget's Playboy pictorial expectations. This is ground zero for her transformation into the mansion's unofficial fairness and nudity advocate. And that enthusiastic cheering we see from her on camera? I don't buy it for a second. It feels like performative Bridget. Polite, supportive, calibrated to maintain her nice girl team player reputation. My guess is that as soon as the crew called cut, the tone shifted. The forced smile dropped, and Bridget immediately took the issue straight to Hef, emotional, tearful, and laser-focused on the injustice of being excluded from even a single image. And even after getting her way, after Hef appealed to her ego and invested in a reshoot, even after the pictorial was published with her likeness an equal 33.33333% throughout, Bridget still has not let go of the resentment, the fixation on fairness, or the lingering bitterness surrounding the shower shoot scandal. I'd love to know your take on all this. Let me know in the comments. I can't help but wonder, was it worth it? If the original shower duo had made the final publication, what difference would it have made in Bridget's life? I know. Hindsight is 20/20, and it's only fair to consider Bridget's point of view now. Luckily, that's easy to do, since her strong opinions on production's alleged campaign to erase her and, of all the slimy deeds, record her true feelings, are represented in the Girls Next Level podcast. Proof that Bridget is still carrying a 20-year torch over a temporary feeling of disclusion, which was immediately rectified. All right, guys, I know my recaps may seem a little harsh, like today when one of the girls gets targeted feedback, but I do want to remind you of the special slice of nostalgia I'll always have for the girls next door. Can't we all at times see a little of ourselves in Holly, in Bridget, and in Kendra? I'll go first. Much like Holly, my first impressions are not my best. Being a private person is sometimes interpreted as aloof. And I've been told many times, far after that first impression, that like Bridget, I can be naive and too nice when a situation demands sternness. Kendra comes out in me around those who get to know me best, when I feel comfortable to drop my guard, let loose, and sometimes say whatever embarrassing thing comes to mind. With all that, I hope you're connecting with this podcast and enjoying more Girls Next Door. I want to invite you to join me for future episodes and to be so kind as to like, share, and comment, so to help me expand the reach of these recaps and hopefully, maybe one day, get enough interest to facilitate some guest hosts, whether from or fans of the Girls Next Door. All right, then, that's all for now. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.
On the bricks.